I'm the Dean of the College of Engineering and Computer Science, and I need to brag about the college a little bit, if that's okay with you, before I turn it to Dr. Bailey. That's my job, Dr. Bailey, right? So I'm doing my job, okay, Dr. Bailey. Hopefully you don't mind that. So, yes. Actually, this is the enrollment in the College of Engineering and Computer Science. We've seen enrollment like never before. 4,500 students in the College of Engineering and Computer Science. I know Maggie tracked those numbers. So basically I was comparing that to the university enrollment, 32,000. So when you walk across the campus, 1 in each 7 students is an engineering student. And what excites me, yes, thank you. Yes. And what excites me about that, look at the percent of female. 20% females are not females, it's Latinas. What is the percent Latina representation in engineering? Less than 2%. That's why last week, the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, the largest professional association for Hispanics in STEM, recognized our university being the academic institution of the year for empowering Hispanics, not only for being engineers, but being leaders in engineering. So thank you for helping us getting this recognition. We've never seen new students like we've seen this year. I checked the numbers with Maggie yesterday. You could see this year, this is my pictures with the students. We back the back, 1,000 new engineering students. By the way, we didn't count the transfer students, by the way, into this. If we count, over 1,100 students. And Maggie told me we get about 5,000 students. So 1 in each 5 new student is an engineering student. We've never seen this before. Again, this is all amazing. Now we've seen the news, and I know Dr. Bailey always loves to talk about this news. We are the 3rd fastest growing doctoral public institution in the nation. I'm proud to say, and Dr. Bailey knows that the College of Engineering and Computer Science is the fastest growing college at UTRGV. Yes, thank you for helping us. Dr. Bailey always talks about and proposes about expanding educational research opportunities. That was his vision for the university, and since UTRGV, we had many new PhD programs. But in my view, why this is history? This is historic because it is the first PhD program in engineering in our university and in the Rio Grande Valley. Let me give you some history. In 1992, we started engineering. How many students? 20 engineering students. Dr. Nevares is there. You're going to hear he was the president at that time. 3 bachelor's programs. You could see this picture there. It is Dr. Nevares. That's the then Governor George Bush. That's in 1996. That's the opening of the engineering building. By the way, we're going to need another engineering building, Dr. Bailey. That's why I invited you, by the way. Don't tell me that. 1992. Today, we have close to 4,500 students, 16 bachelor's and master's program. The first PhD in engineering started, and next year, we're going to have the second PhD in the College of Engineering and Computer Science. Think about that. The students will be able to get a BS degree, a master degree, and a PhD degree right here in the Rio Grande Valley. Now, this is the most exciting things for me. The new class. Actually, Dr. Nevares can tell you, when we started engineering in the 90s, many people questioned the ability of the children. Say, the children in the Rio Grande cannot do engineering. This is not for them. But our students have proved them wrong. Look at that. Christina Shubala knows this. When we developed the proposal, we projected 10 students. And when was the proposal approved by the Texas Higher Court in 18 You see, Dr. Bailey was there, Dr. Zayas. It was in April. We had 18 PhD students, double the projected enrollment. That tells you the demand for the PhD program in the valley. Now, what's more exciting for me, look, 80% Hispanics. Look at the females and Latinas, 40% Latinas. You cannot even find that in undergraduate STEM programs. That's why the NSF are excited, because we are the future of the nation. And not only the NSF, now the most exciting group, who are those inaugural group in the PhD program, and I want you to hear from them.
This program holds immense significance for not only me, but also for my family. It is a testament to our shared dreams, aspirations, showcasing the importance of higher education. I hope that with this program, I can secure a great future, not only for me, but for those around me.
I guess it starts back in 1976 when my father started his career here with the Department of Chemistry. And it led to being a school visitor through field trips through my middle school and high school days, eventually being an undergraduate student, a graduate student, a teaching assistant, and now a university lecturer with the Department of Mechanical Engineering.
I believe that this program is going to make a difference in the Valley because it will expand the opportunities for research applications in the RGV.
I think this program will be a good foundation for doing research and learning leadership skills. Research plays a crucial role in a nation's development, prosperity, security, and well-being.
I think it's a stepping stone of what engineering can become here in the Valley. As known, there's many more opportunities for jobs outside the Valley, but hopefully with this program, it promotes companies and government institutions to look at the UTRGV and create jobs here for students and other engineers.
This program is important to me not only because it will provide me the tools and knowledge that I need to accomplish my professional and personal goals, but it will also allow me to take part in creating a sustainable future for my community. I also strive to compensate for all the hard work, dedication, and endless support my parents have given me, while giving our family names pride for all the sacrifices that were made to get me here.
What excites me about this program is the chance of mentoring undergraduate students and graduate students. I want to create new leaders and experts in their field that will have a positive effect in the community. I'm also excited to develop a new technology or a method that can be of help to many in the near future.
Human quality here at UTRGV, I don't think you can find it anywhere else. All this in addition to the amazing research the Prem Group has. I have learned so much in this 3 years of living here, and I can't wait to learn more and more from their faculty and from my partners.
I am thankful to my family, friends, co-workers, and mentors for their support and encouragement in pursuing a PhD in material science and engineering.
I would like to thank my wife Candice for always having my back and support.
My family and friends kept me motivated to pursue higher education. Hector Ortega was a great mentor during my undergrad, and I wouldn't be doing graduate studies without Dr. Ahmed acknowledging a growing potential in me.
I would like to give thanks to my parents, Daniel Villarreal and Vianey Valdez, for all the love and support they have given me. And thank you to Dr. Lozano and Dr. Padilla for always supporting my crazy ideas and providing enriching learning opportunities. And most importantly, I'd like to thank God for always allowing me to meet the right people at the right time. Thank you so much, and V's up.
And we have those new PhD students in orange t-shirts. Can you please stand and give them a big round of applause? Yes! Please. Yes. Thank you. And guess who is also excited? The families of those students. Their kids will be able to do a PhD while they are at home, and I could see a baby there. I could see. Can I ask the families of the PhD students to please stand? Please, the families. Let's give them. They deserve it also. The families, please stand. Yes. Thank you. Now it's my honor to introduce our founding president, Dr. Guy Bailey. As I mentioned about his vision was expanding educational opportunities, and under his leadership, the university have done a transformational change like no one could have imagined across the Rio Grande Valley. By the way, he's an English major, but he knows a lot about engineering. He can talk with you about advanced manufacturing, clean energy, many other things. So please help me welcome our founding president, Dr. Guy Bailey.
I was going to brag on the College of Engineering, but do I need to do any more bragging? You get the picture. Engineering at UTRGV is booming. It really is. We're so proud of what you've been able to achieve and what you've been able to do. I want to welcome all of you on behalf of the entire University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. We are in our 8th year. Think about that. We're in our 8th year. That's not very long. And in 8 years, we've accomplished some remarkable things. This PhD program is one of them. And the growth of engineering is part of that. I can't tell you how crucial that is to what we are as an institution, and I can't tell you how crucial that is to where we're going. You know, this has been a big year for us in terms of awards and things. Washington Monthly came out with rankings, and this has all happened in the last month. Washington Monthly came out with rankings of universities. They've been doing this since about 2005. We were 80th in the United States, the highest ranked national university in Texas, ahead of our friends in College Station, in Austin, Houston, everywhere else. Think about that. And this is something that we have been working on for years. You can track our progress over time, moving toward number one. Think about that. You can look at the third way rankings that came out. Third way rankings rank universities on the economic mobility of students who go there. We were 6th in the United States. Think about that, 6th in the United States. What does that mean? It means our students, they end up so much better off economically than where they started. Think about that. What else is the purpose of the university but to help better your students, right? You're really living up to your potential when you do that. And I got to tell you some more breaking news that came out a little while. Sorry, I had to pull out my iPhone, but this came out just an hour or so ago. There is a ranking agency called Degree Choices, and a lot of students use this. And Degree Choices ranks universities on their relative economic value. Okay, think about this, economic value. Why do most kids go to school? I was a first generation college student. I can't tell you how much better off I was than all the rest of my family. You know why you go to college. Well, these rankings came out, we started looking at them, and I got them right here, they're hot off the press. I don't guess there's a press anymore, but they're hot off the internet. The first, can I read a few of these to you? And I think you'll see why. Number 1 was City College, New York. Number 2 was MIT. Engineers, y'all heard of that one? Yeah, you heard of that. University of Florida, Princeton, y'all heard of Princeton, Stanford, Harvard, Caltech, all the engineers know Caltech, Florida International, University of Pennsylvania, Yale, Cal Berkeley, y'all heard of that one, Georgia Tech, yeah, all the engineers. That's even in their fight song here, right? The engineers. University of Michigan, everybody knows that. Rice was 14. You know who number 15 was? You guessed it, it's us, UTRGV. Think about that. I want you to think about that list. Think about that list. And think about where you are on that list. We don't take a backseat to anyone in the state of Texas. And this achievement isn't something that the president does, it's something that you do. It requires the success of our students, right? We do this because you come here as students and you graduate and you do well. You wouldn't do that if our faculty weren't offering the courses and giving you good instruction, right? And you couldn't do that without the support of everybody like Maggie that gets you enrolled. She's got a staff of people, make sure you get enrolled. Your degree proposals wouldn't get through without Christina over there overseeing all that. All of this is all of us pulling together one purpose, one goal, and that's where it gets us. You know, we have some huge advantages here. We talk a lot about family. I'm very fortunate. My wife, Val Amantia, goes with me to almost all of these things, and I try to go with her as well. I will have to say, you know, Val's a beer distributor. She comes to academic things with me. I go to beer things with her. Guess who has more fun? Yeah, it's the beer folks, I guarantee you. But that's okay, she's a good sport about it. But when you talk about family, we have 11 grandchildren and more on the way. And you know what? Our biggest regret is many of them are outside the area. We only have 2 grandkids in the valley. We want them all here. What PhD programs like this do, and what R&D programs do, they help us keep kids in the valley. Our future, our strength depends on keeping you in the valley. We hope you'll start businesses here. We hope that this PhD, Keith, you can agree with this, helps us attract companies and businesses to stay right here in the valley. This is a wonderful place to live. I've been here 9 years, longest I've ever lived anywhere in my adult life. I'm never leaving. Stay here, be part of it. Be part of the family of the Rio Grande Valley. It's a wonderful place, and I want to thank you, first of all, for everything you do, and welcome you to a great celebration. Thanks so much. And I have, I like being applauded, so it's okay. But I am supposed to introduce somebody. We have some big advantages in the valley that you may or may not know about. Our Board of Regents has been very supportive of us, and they have helped us get through these programs. Sometimes they've taken a leap of faith with us, and one of the big reasons why is the board member we have locally, Dr. Nolan Pettis. And Nolan will come up and address us in just a moment. Many of you know him as your local GI doctor, right? And so you may know him in another way. He is not only a very successful physician and has a wonderful practice, he's a school board member in Harlingen. He is on the Board of Regents. Before that, he was on the Board of Regents at Texas Women's University. And by the way, they were very unhappy when we stole him away at the UT system. But when you get to know him, you'll understand why. Without his support, we wouldn't be where we are. So, Dr. Pettis, if you'll come forward, we'd love to hear from you.
Thank you so much, Dr. David. So, thanks for the invitation to be here today. For me, a little bit about myself. I'm from Port Isabel, and like many of you students sitting out there, we didn't think at the time, and we didn't actually, compared to now, have the opportunities to stay here and get educated, and all the way to the terminal degrees that were needed if you had high aspirations like I did. So I went to UT Austin, and then I went to medical school in San Antonio at UT Health Science Center. Then I was a Navy doctor for a few years, and finished my training, and eventually I always wanted to come back. I didn't want to be a part of that brain drain problem that so many people talk about, where our best and our brightest leave every year, and then mostly don't come back unless they're visiting their familia over the holidays or whatever, but they end up living somewhere else, typically suburbia, somewhere, pick a city, anywhere, but they don't live here. And so I didn't want to be a part of that statistic, so I wanted to come back and live here in Rio Grande Valley. Going back to my UT deal, I wanted to go there. I thought I was a baseball player, but it wasn't that good. But ended up still sticking at the UT, and it was my last year of high school when a teacher, right, and a teacher who had a PhD in engineering, in math and engineering. And at that time, he told me, he was teaching high school, and he told me, what are you gonna do when you go to UT? And I was like, like most high school students, I had no idea. I was like, well, I don't know, sir, I'll figure it out when I get there. So he told me what a dumb idea that was. And he called me, he says, I want to talk to you after school, come see me. So I went to see him, and at that time he says, Nolan, I've been thinking a lot about this. You will be an excellent physician. And I'm like, I looked at him, I'm like, I'm from Port Isabel. You mean, and we both said at the same time, a medical doctor? He's like, a medical doctor. Like, that's right. And I was like, wow. So for me, that teacher that flipped the switch and inspired me to become, according to that, as you can predict it, went to UT, and I was a biology major, and pre-med major, and the rest is history. I never forgot that, and so when I came back to Harlingen to open my practice as a gastroenterologist, the first thing I did was look to start mentoring students, and to look to start getting involved in the school district, and Is it working? Little did I know that would lead to me getting a phone call and getting appointed to the school board, and so I never thought I would be an elected official, but I kept getting involved with education, kept getting involved with UT, kept getting involved here in the Valley, and then, of course, later, now I serve on other boards. But for me, it's just a blessing to continue to be a part of the solution and to help the great leadership that we have here to continue to end that brain drain that we continue to suffer from. But I'm so proud, and I can tell you this, the Board of Regents is just super impressed with Dr. Bailey's leadership and the leadership of everybody in this room that continues to provide more opportunities for our brilliant people in the Rio Grande Valley. Think about this, and Jean Kabaj mentioned, but think about the faces of everybody in this room, these young faces of the students. These are the faces of the future of this great state and the future of this United States of America. So we need to match that talent. Talent is universal. Talent is everywhere. From these kids when they're born in the Rio Grande Valley, we just need to bridge that gap. Talent is university, but opportunity, unfortunately, is not. It's up to us here at UTRGV to create those opportunities, bridge that gap, so that we can educate the best and brightest people in this country. And then when we do that, obviously we transform this region like we are doing right now. So the board, right, I'm a UT grad and I went to UTESCA and that kind of stuff, and I get excited with all these different schools, MD Anderson, all this kind of stuff. I can tell you, and that's why I'm here, every time they invite me, I come. What I'm most passionate about, and I tell the governor this all the time, and he knows, what I'm most passionate about serving in the Board of Regents is to support UTRGV because of what's happening right here. I live here, I live in Harlingen, we have offices in McAllen and Brownsville and Harlingen, and this is where I live. I want to help support, the university that's going to help transform. Think about all these universities and the big UT system building we have downtown. Like, I go there and I always remind our board, like, the great stuff doesn't happen here. The great stuff happens at the universities. That's where you educate students. That's where you provide healthcare, like the School of Medicine here at UTRGV. That's where you drive research and innovation, new ideas, new ways of doing things, right? And that's where you transform communities, which is what UTRGV is doing. So we're super proud of the leadership of Dr. Bailey. There's not a president that we trust more than Dr. Bailey at the board. That I can assure you. He called, comes to us, we just cut him off and said, Dr. Bailey, the answer is yes. Anything more you need, sir? Kind of probably like what you do with Dean Kabosh calls me. You're like, you're good, we're good, But that's what it takes. It takes bold leadership to make things happen. We always tell our president, it's okay if you make mistakes, but make mistakes being bold, doing bold things to benefit our students, to benefit our faculty, to benefit the community. And if you do that, we got your back. Obviously, it's a little bit more complicated than that, and Dr. Bailey, that's why he's the enterprise leader, not us. We support the heck out of what he does, but I'll tell you this, it's not easy to be a university president these days, and you see, to thread the needle of politics and all the different issues with the internal and external stakeholders, but we have an amazing leader. Think about this for a second. When UTRGV started, this was the most unprecedented startup in higher ed in America. You had the simultaneous dissolution of two universities, UT Pan American and UT Brownsville. At the same time that you were creating a new university with a School of Medicine in a distributive campus model. Think about that. Wrap your brain around that. Most universities are just in one place. This place is, and it took an amazing, brilliant, and innovative, visionary, but also very cool, calm, and collected leader like Dr. Bailey. And he's been a steady hand. Let's give him another round of applause for his leadership. And I will say this, the leadership, and he'll say the same thing, I know, because we talked about this, that he doesn't do all these things, right? The deans of the colleges, the faculty, these are the folks that really are creating these amazing programs that our students benefit from. The degrees that you all confer and everything else, it's incredible what you do. 13, I think this is number 13, if I remember, I don't know, someone sent me some data, I think this is the 13th doctoral program UTRGV. Put this in perspective. UT San Antonio has 30, UT El Paso has 26. So we'll be there soon, But put that in perspective. We have a lot of catching up to do. And also, back to the brain drain problem, the reason there's a problem, where folks leave and don't come back is because they have to leave to get that terminal degree, that final degree, right? So you look at medicine, for me, most people, it's not the MD degree, it's the residency programs. And of course, now we have those here too. And so we're keeping our own physicians, creating our own homegrown health professionals here. Awesome, right? Now we're creating more doctoral engineering degrees. We get more companies down here that'll hire you, and you're going to be working right here. And so for us, we just need to continue to create these higher level master's and doctoral degrees, and our medicine, of course, residency programs. And this is how we continue to provide for a really robust quality of life. I can guarantee you, someone's got to have some statistics on this. Some of y'all smart PhDs out there. I'm not a real doctor, just an MD, but y'all real doctors will know that the statistics will bear this out. The more terminal degrees like PhDs and MDs, these high-level degrees a community has, the better the quality of life. That's plain and simple. The more symphonies and parks and art and all kinds of things. And so I feel we're in a special place right now, but it's all thanks to you guys, and it's all thanks to what I call the collective impact approach, where you bring industry, engineers in the community, NSF, community leaders. It takes all of the elected officials, the community leaders, economic development folks, the folks in industry to come together to all help the university to create these opportunities for our young people. And lastly, I will say this. If we don't get it right, we're post-pandemic now, right? And now we have a new way of doing things. And now we have to do things much quicker, right? It's like a microwave society. Everything's you gotta be quick. It's gotta be at your fingertips. And folks are doing more remote learning and things like that. It's a much different ballgame. If we're not nimble enough, if we're not bold enough, if we don't do business as a university at the speed of business, the opportunities are going to be created by somebody else. Let me give you one last story, and then I'll sit down and let someone else talk. I'm going to start next. Long time ago, there was a university. This is how important education, this is how important degrees are. A long time ago, there was a university created by a company called Texas Instruments. Texas Instruments needed a university to get all the master's and doctoral human capital they needed. Right? That university is the University of Texas, Dallas. Several years into it, they realized, wow, this is working so good. It was just a graduate school at the time. They said, God, this is working so good. They backmapped it and created a full-fledged university with the bachelor degrees. And now it's UT Dallas. It's a remarkable university. Well, that was, 30-some, 40 years ago. Dr. Bailey knows better than I, but I'll tell you this. That won't happen today. If the universities aren't nimble enough in creating what the workforce that the industry needs, they'll create the workforce without creating the university. So that's why it's important that we all help this bold leadership that we have with Dean Kabaj and Dr. Bailey and his team, and help continue to create these programs and create this synergy, this collective impact synergy with the industry and the workforce and everybody else, so that we can continue to educate the human capital of tomorrow. Because I can assure you this, the human capital that we need is best created in the university setting, not by somebody else. So let's continue to support the great leadership here at UTRGV, and thank you for allowing me to speak to you tonight. God bless.
Thank you, Dr. David. Next week, you're going to get my request to Provost Diaz for a new engineering building. No, thank you. By the way, what I love about Regent Perez, he's the most active regent in the state on social media. Probably he knows a lot of the things he mentioned. He's the first one to like our social media. So keep doing that, Regent Perez. We love it. And Dr. Bailey, thank you for making our university #1 university. I want to recognize his wife that as is behind every great man, there is a greater. Can you please stand? Give that a big round of recognition. Thank you for supporting us. Yes. Thank you. Actually, Dr. Bailey and the Regent talked about the role of the community, and both of them, they mentioned Mr. Keith Partridge. He has been a long friend, a long partner, a long-time supporter of our university, and especially our engineering programs. The Regent and Dr. Bailey talked about the need to retain the talent. What I love about the work that Keith is doing, we are educating the engineers. He's the one who's working on bringing the companies, bringing the high-paying jobs. So his work really complements what we are doing. Actually, he is the president and CEO of McAllen Economic Development Corporation. He has been in the McAllen Development Corporation since 1988, right? That's 1 year before Dr. Rivares, that's 1 year before we joined the UT system, right? We joined in 1989. So he has been here for a long time, a great friend and partner. Please help me welcome Mr. Keith Partridge.
Thank you very much. I think the reason he asked me to come is because of the white hair. I've been around so long that there's one of the few people that have been here from the very beginning, really, along with Dr. Tavares. So I just want to congratulate Dr. Bailey, all the faculty, the staff, and most of all the students, because the students, this is what it's all about. We're with economic development. What we do is we try to bring the jobs down here that hopefully will allow you to stay in the Rio Grande Valley. For 35 years, we've been bringing jobs in, but most of them were the assembly type jobs, lower level jobs. We now have about 150,000 jobs in Reynosa. We have now companies that are looking at setting up research and development here. And as we continue to start bringing that level of job opportunities here, we have to have, quite frankly, the tools that this degree will provide, and those that are yet to come that we don't have yet, those other PhDs that we need. If we don't have those tools, you as a student are going to go somewhere else where those tools exist. But more importantly, or just as important, the companies will not come here because the companies are looking for locally grown students to man these companies that understand the community, that understand the environment that they're working in. And now we're seeing, it's changed a lot because now we're actually seeing labor shortages. How many times do you look at the number of jobs in manufacturing that are going unfilled? And so as these companies start looking at coming into or looking for an area, they're now really not necessarily looking at the big cities. They're really looking at communities like ours that has a very high quality of education, both PK through 12, the technical education, as well as the university and graduate level programs for PhDs, for research, and that further development of new innovation in the community. With this particular PhD program, it's very an opportune moment, and I will tell you that Karen is aware. We are working with a company right now, and we met with Karen, and they said, we really want to support that PhD program because they are dealing with a technology that only exists in China. This will be the largest, if we're successful, and we don't have them yet, so we're competing with other locations, but if we're successful with them, this will be the largest commercial production of this product outside of China in the world. It will be the only facility in North America that has this technology. So what we're looking at, really developing jobs that don't exist anywhere in the United States right now. And it was really interesting because as Dr. Kavash knows, the first visit, the first thing they were talking about was, can we find the skill sets that we need to operate in South Texas? So we spent one day, virtually all day, with Dr. Kavash and his team, and we met with students. I actually talked to students about, and what they told me after we left was, I'm ready to hire them right now. And so that's the quality that's the quality of our students. It's a quality of the university. It's a quality of the faculty. And it's a quality of what has been created here. As I mentioned, I've been working with Dr. Navarez when we started the engineering program. And I will tell you that I am really, really proud of what all of you have done. And I'm very, very proud of the students because you're the one that's going to continue to build a region that people all around the world are going to know about. And if we're successful with this company, they're looking at 1,700 jobs and a $2 billion investment. And it's all because of really what you have done to support what they see they will need to continue to innovate and develop the technology that is coming into the future. And so I'm really excited. Karen, thank you very much because you were very impressive for their visit. And it just kind of cemented that this is a place to be. As I say, they haven't made a decision yet. Some of that's going to depend upon what the controller does with the 403 incentive package. If we can get that done in time, why, we will get them. If we can't, we'll lose them. But that's what we deal with. It is little things that companies make decisions on. And one of the biggest things right now is the availability of the skill sets that they need and the workforce that they need to continue to be successful and grow and innovate as a company. And I just want to thank Dr. Gouache, I want to thank you, Karen, I want to thank the whole team that's been involved with this, but I want to thank all of the faculty in the university because I've worked with many of you and will continue to work with many of you, but you are doing a great job and we have come a long way. Thank you for providing the tools that will allow us to continue to build the workforce of the future and to show the rest of the world what our students are capable of doing. Thank you very much.
Another great friend and partner with our college and university is Rolando Ropiano. We work, UTRGV across the valley. So he's of Harlingen. He's heading a major engineering company. He's serving on the Texas Board of Professional Engineers. And I would like him to, can you please come? Now, one example I just want to mention. When he was appointed by the governor for the Texas Board of Professional Engineers, he's the first one from the valley. He's a PE. He's a UT Austin graduate, but I consider him one of our, the first thing he did, he brought the board here to the valley, to our college. He says we need more of our students to get their PEs, and he provided jobs and opportunities. So please help me welcome my great engineer fellow and friend, Rolando Ropiano.
Dean, thank you. Dr. Bailey, thank you. Dr. Pettis, thank you. Thank you to all of you for inviting my wife Cindy and me to this fantastic evening. Congratulations to the first class of PhD students. My privilege is to serve the state of Texas looking at and looking after the public safety, health, and welfare through the licensing of engineering. Something we all take very seriously. We think often that we're here so we can get educated, so we can get a job. And that's true. I'm often asked to speak about what engineering means to me. Well, it means more than a job. It's a career. It means more than a career to me, actually. It's my way to affect my community, to give back. We're so grateful. Our medical doctors, they take care of us one patient at a time. Our licensed CPAs, they take care of us one corporation or one tax return at a time. When we look at our friends, the attorneys, they take care of one client at a time. The work that you will do, Your careers will affect thousands of people an hour. If you don't believe me, try to get from McAllen to Brownsville any given day. Look at what airports do. Look at what clean water does for communities. Look at what the ability to have and count on electrical power and distribution does. Look at what our data systems are doing. And so it is so exciting for me to see not only an institution so dedicated to their community, to their state in providing this program, but my goodness, 18 of you in the first PhD class. My mother at times, I think, would be a little frustrated with all of my brothers and myself. Dr. Bettis is my oldest brother's neighbor, and so he knows exactly what kind of trouble we can get into at times. But at times, we were raised in northern Mexico in the valley, and so familias, todo para nosotros. And at times, my mother at her wit's end would look at her mother, my grandmother, and she would simply say, "El burro no anda hasta que esté cargado, mija." Forgive me because it's going to translate terribly. The mule doesn't move until its cart is fully loaded. I have an undergraduate degree from the University of Texas. I have a professional license, and I feel my cart is fully loaded. For those of you that are expanding your capacity to carry your community on your shoulders by committing to getting a PhD, not only in engineering, but here at UTRGV, my thanks to you. Thank you guys for that commitment, for that trust in UTRGV, for that trust in your community, and for that absolute knowledge that you will bring to bear. We were just talking, the 18 of you, by the time you get your PhD, the number of master's and undergraduate students you will touch, you will launch, you will affect positively, will be in the hundreds. Thank you. Thank you so much for your commitment to UTRGV, for your consideration of getting your education in engineering and computer science, material science, and most importantly, for what you can do for your community. Thank you again. And one last thing I got to tell you, every time I come to one of these presentations, Dean Kubash is fantastic with numbers. He really is. What you don't see are the text messages I get, the emails I get, the phone calls I get, and they're all about his students and opportunities for his students. Dean, thank you so much for this. I really do appreciate this evening.
And I want to recognize Cindy, his wife. Give her a big round of applause. She's a great host. Thank you so much for being here. Now, in the next speaker, I put where we came from, and we won't be here today if we didn't have an undergraduate program, because to get a PhD, you need to have an undergraduate program. And I would like to invite the president who has fought to get the first undergraduate engineering program to the Rio Grande Valley. As I recall, he was the longest serving Hispanic president in the nation. And if you go on 107, there is a Miguel Nevares Drive. I was telling Dr. Bailey, UTRGV, you need to name the highway after you. You cannot name a street. I mean, which city gonna? So you see Miguel Nevares, and I want the students to meet Dr. Nevares because they always see it. So please help me welcome, our former president. He's a president emeritus, Dr. Miguel Nevares. Thank you.
You know, Alan, when they start naming things after you, that's a sign that you gotta move on. You've been here too long. First of all, I want to thank Dean Allen, for the invitation. And I want to congratulate you, Dr. Brady, in what you have accomplished in a very short time in terms of higher education degree programs. Master's and doctoral programs are done a wonderful job. And also, Dean Allen, I want to congratulate you and thank you for what you've done in a very short time with what started out as just an engineering program at this campus. My task that the dean gave me is, where do we come from? I don't know where you came from on that. How hard was it to get a engineering program here? Well, let me tell you, this in the early 1980s that we were here, we were already at university with a bachelor's degree, and we were trying to get graduate programs, master's and doctoral programs. But it's kind of difficult sometimes to get those kind of programs. You have to have expertise in those fields to be able to write the curriculum. You have to have what I call start-up funds, because it takes money. If you don't have the faculty to start the program, you have to come up with the money ahead of time. You need facilities, you need operating money, you need a whole bunch of things. And then you have to take all that to the coordinating board and get that approval over there. It really was very difficult at that time, I'm talking about the early, to start master's and doctoral program. We did a few master's programs during that period of time. We even tried to do a couple of doctoral programs at that time on that. But it was difficult. So one of the things, somebody came up with the idea, well, let's look at what kind of funding you're getting at the university. How much are you getting per student at this university, and how much is the other universities getting? All right. And let's do a comparison. Well, by no surprise, if it's no surprise to us, we're at the very bottom on funding per student that we had. So, and we weren't the only ones. Texas A&I had the same thing. Corpus Christi had the same thing. Laredo had the same problem. All 4 universities in deep South Texas were having the same kind of problem with it. Somehow, Mount Diff got a hold of that information. And guess what they did? They filed a lawsuit. They filed a lawsuit against us for not offering the program, but also against the state. And they called it discrimination. It really wasn't discrimination. It was the kind of programs we had, because we couldn't afford only the lower end kind of programs, the bachelor's programs, and the low end master's programs that we had. So, and we get funded, everybody gets funded based on semester credit hours, as you all know. And a semester credit hour in English is less than a semester credit hour in English at the master's level, and even less at the doctoral level. And if all your programs are at the undergraduate programs, well, your funding is going to be less. And English is funded at a lower rate as the engineering program does. We didn't have engineering. We had a lot of English, we had a lot of liberal arts programs, but we didn't have a high quality program. Somehow that lawsuit got a lot of attention in Austin, where the legislature instructed Texas A&M, and UT also, UT, hey, you two guys, go down in South Texas, see what the hell you can do to those 40 universities that are having all these kinds of problems on that. And so they did. Hans Mark was the chancellor of UT at that time. And I forget the name of the chancellor at A&M on that. But they once came down here and they visited us and they visited Kingsville and Corpus and Laredo. And they basically said, you know, the problem you have is you don't have startup money and you don't have the expertise. We can help you, but we can help you more if you're within our system. If you come and join us, it's a lot easier to do it, and we can do it better. Well, what did that mean? Well, we had to go back to our respected boards and say, hey guys, you know, we're going to leave you, you know, you're going to have to vacate your region appointment on that. And of course, the board said, well, you know, why? You know, what are you getting if you start joining the UP system? Well, we have a commitment to start programs. Our region, which was Regents at Pan American University, said we want a commitment of what kind of programs you're going to get. And so he instructed me, you know, come up with a list, get the UT regions to kind of bless it on it. So, you know, we came up with a whole bunch of programs. Professional programs, doctoral programs, master programs. Matter of fact, one of them was we won the law school down here. Why? Because at that time we had the Reynaldo Garza Law School here in the Valley. And then we were kind of struggling and they wanted to be state supported. And I remember talking to Hans Mark, the chancellor, and I said, one of the things we want is a law school. And he looked at me and said, how many law schools are there in the UT system? One. Where is it? Austin. Who do you think the graduates of that law school are? I don't know. It's like who's who in Texas. He said, there'll never be another law school in the UT system. And he told me that back in 1984, 85. And to this day, how many law schools there are in the UT system? One, the same one. So he said the law school is off the table. What do you want in the professional one? I said, I want a medical school. What's that? We'll write it down. So I came back to the board of regents and they said, if they're committed to this, we're committed to step down and, you know, you can join the UT system. We have to file. And the same thing happened to Kingsville and Corpus and Laredo. They came down here, and I don't know if the UT system chancellor and the A&M chancellor say how they came out with the idea, you take Pan American and we're going to take Kingsville and Corpus and Laredo and that. I don't know how they did, but that's what they did. So we filed a program to get those approved. In 1989, they were approved, and we joined the UT system. And almost immediately down here, we had a couple of doctoral programs. They even sent on loan a couple of faculty members to help us get those programs established on that. And that was just an example. But I think, you know, going back to your question, how did you get funded? I think if we hadn't joined the UT system, we would not be where we are right now. And that's my just personal opinion on this thing. And we thank the UT system. They've been At least during my tenure, they were very, very helpful. I assume that they were very helpful during your tenure, Dr. Bailey. I noticed that, in just your tenure, you've already approved 7 doctoral programs since 2015, less than 10 years. And you got 5 more gone in the works. Now you start looking at 7 and 5, we would never have done that. We would never have gotten a degree in engineering because the cost to start it up is very expensive on that. And, so we have having to move forward with that. And what I want to end up right now, I want to congratulate and I want to thank, the faculty and the staff in creating, writing, I know what it is. You have to write the whole curriculum for the doctoral program, and you have to then figure out how you can get the money to get the program started on that. So my congratulations to the faculty and the staff in the College of Engineering on that, and I thank you for inviting me.
I want to recognize his amazing daughter, Annette, for taking good care. Give her a big round. Annette, thank you for joining us. Of course, it's great to have great presidents like Dr. Bailey and Dr. Nevares, have provosts like Dr. Zayas and deans like me and Dr. Insera. But we all know that the ones who make the biggest difference for our students, the one who bring the university, the national and international recognition, it's not the presidents, it's not the provosts, it's not the deans. We all know that. It's the faculty member. And we are blessed to have one faculty in our college who's leading this program, Dr. Karen Lozano. Come here, Karen. Yes. See the students, they started this. I wanted to say something about her, but you know her better than all of us. When we talk about being, this historic achievement, making history through this program, she already made history. When we talk about a first, she has been making history and the first woman and Latina to be hired in engineering, the first one to be inducted into the National Academy of Inventors, the first one to be elected to the National Academy of Engineering, and the first doctoral director for the first PhD program in the College of Engineering and Computer Science. We are really blessed to have Dr. Lozano in our college. One last thing I want to say about her. Dr. Lozano could have been at UT Austin, could have been at Texas A&M, but she chose to be here. And that's why I would, where we came from, she never forget where she came from. She came from Mexico. And she never forget why she came here, to make a difference in the lives of our students. And she has made tremendous difference. She is an inspiration and a role model for all our students and all our faculty. Please, Dr. Lozano, I'm so proud of you.
Okay, those of you who know me well, I hate to be standing here, but it's very emotional today, so I actually am gonna have to be kind of looking at my notes. So it takes a village, we have a huge village. Let me share a little bit of the history of material science and engineering, here efforts at UTRGV, and why it's very important for our nation. So, okay. So as you can see in the slides, working well. Okay, as you can see in these slides, the Hispanic representation in the US is 21%. So we have 21%. There's a lot of information. I'm not going to go through all the data here. But the Hispanic representation in engineering at the PhD level for Latinas is 1.7. It should be at 21%. Well, let's say maybe 15% because it's male and female, right? But it's 1.7, very little. The Hispanic representation for Latinas in material science is 1.7. So it's very little the people that hold a PhD degree. So Julie, Victoria, PhDs in material science and engineering, you're one of the 1.7 in the nation. So it's very little. Even for males, it's 4.9 and 5.6 in material science. So it's very little, the numbers. And that's why our program is going to make a big change. And I guess National Science Foundation, when we said broaden participation, this is the place to broaden participation. This is the place where we can make a difference. So we're not fighting for the students. We're not trying to alter the admission process. We get a lot of Hispanic students here just naturally. So this is the place to make a difference. When I joined, some time ago, 24 years ago, I joined our legacy institution, University of Texas Pan American. We had a great building. It had just been opened. Students, you see it very different right now, right? This was a highway. Now you don't see anything in there, but it's empty. It was an empty building when I came here. Nice, clean floors, full empty benches. So full empty benches. And I was very enthusiastic. I said, it's a region with lots of potential. I joined full of hopes. But there was a little problem. I really wanted to do research, and it was basically a teaching institution. We were teaching 4 courses in the spring, or in the fall, and 4 in the spring, right? Research grants, very little. The office sponsored research and grants. It was staffed by 4 people. That was it. Okay, and I wanted to do research, but it wasn't really the main goal of the institution. But I was never stopped. In the administration under Dr. Nevares never said anything. It's like, yeah, as long as you teach your classes, you want to do research, go ahead. So Dr. Nevares, our dean, Edwin the Master, my late chair, Dr. Maddie, my current chair, Dr. Freeman, they never put, a word saying, no, don't do this, don't do that, focus here, that's crazy. So we, I guess naively, I submitted my proposal to National Science Foundation and MRI, this major research instrumentation, and I submitted a career for National Science Foundation, and the panel trusted me. They trusted, but there were comments that says, could the proposed goals be achieved at a teaching institution? Oh yeah, they were achieved. I was very happy that they trusted us. I was happy with that comment because that comment fuel is like, yes, we will do it. You trusted me, now give me the money and I'll do it. So we created the nano team. So we created an amazing team, very vibrant team. We set up a research lab. We filled those empty benches. We outreached to thousands of K-12 students. We developed a suite of undergraduate projects for undergraduate students, projects that could enrich their careers and broaden their vision for their future. We kept on writing proposals and working extra super duper hard. And in 2009, we were given the PREM grant, the Partnership for Research and Education in Material Science. Our program director is sitting here from National Science Foundation, our division director also who oversees this PREM grant. And this exponentially propelled our material science and engineering efforts at all levels. We partnered with the University of Minnesota. Phil, you made it. He's representing our colleagues at the University of Minnesota. And we grew even more. So it was something that started producing a lot of results. Of course, we were expected to move the needle in moving fundamental knowledge in material science and engineering, and we did. We published over 300 peer-reviewed journal articles. That's how many we have published since 2000. And remember, we are a teaching institution, and we have more than 300 peer-reviewed journal articles. We have given over 500 oral and poster presentations. We have over 30 patents, have started 2 companies. Our efforts have graduated over 500 students, and our students, 50% of them have moved up to do master's or PhD. And more importantly, 100% retention and graduation of those 500 students. This is not easy. Achieving 100% retention of graduation when you don't ask the students for a GPA to join the team. You don't ask them for their ACT score to join the team. I ask them, are you a responsible person? And all of those 500 say yes. Okay, then we find out maybe not that responsible. But at the beginning I never said, that's the only question, right guys? That's the only question I ask. Are you responsible? Yes, I am. Okay, good. Where do you sign, right? And then we move on, right? So remember the numbers that I Remember the numbers that I show you? What was the percentage of women, Latinas? 1.7. Okay, these are all the students that have graduated from our nano team that have a PhD degree right now. So we are contributing to the nation. We are contributing significantly to the nation. One of them is sitting right there. This one also is sitting right there. I need your picture. So we have all of these amazing ladies leading the nation, NASA employees, Boeing employees, all kinds of employees, just very high upper level jobs right now. All of them, I just need their pictures. The ones in orange, they're the ones that have been funded by PREM. So you see how many PhD students are emerging from our PREM programs. And the ones in black were funded through the Career Award. So all of them by NSF. So thank you, NSF. Thank you. So so we have grown. We've grown right now. This is how many people are in our team. And my colleagues in Minnesota, they say we're crazy. They know, right? We're absolutely crazy. So our team has 46 undergraduate students doing research in the labs. We have 7 master's students, 2 high school students, and now 9 PhD students, that are part of, the nano team or the ones that are related to the team. So we have grown. I would like for the PREM students to be recognized, all the ones that are in the pipeline to graduate work, or also the ones that are right now enrolled in the PhD. So all PREM students, please stand up. We have an amazing team, and people have asked why you haven't left the Valley, or people say like, oh, you're gonna burn out, just leave the Valley, or this is not, whatever. It's like you can't leave. When you have them, you can't leave. There's just no way. So it's amazing, working with them. So we also have amazing professors, Dr. Fuentes, Dr. Udin, Dr. Padilla, there are amazing professors that are working also, Dr. Mataz, that are in the material science and engineering, and they all work with our amazing students, and they've played a fantastic role, in developing the proposal. Dr. Padilla, Dr. Fuentes, they were Dr. Nazmul, is the team that wrote the proposal. So thank you so much, for getting us in this craziness. But thank you. So, but it's been really amazing. So With the full support from all of you, we have developed a unique PhD program, one that will promote excellence in material science, one that will contribute to the body of knowledge, but also will not forget our region. This PhD program will transform the lives of our undergraduate students, but it will grow hand in hand with the undergraduate community. We cannot open a PhD program when we're going to do it at the expense of the undergraduate community. There's no way we can get rid of the last 2 rows right now in this room just by working with 18 PhD students. There's just no way. And when I was asked to lead the PhD program, I said, if you allow me to develop the program where undergraduate students will be par with the PhD student, I'll do it. If not, find somebody else. They said, no, just do it the way you want. And we did it with all of you guys right at the same level. So the opportunities for the undergraduate students will grow the same way the opportunities for the PhD students will grow. We're not sacrificing any opportunity for an undergraduate student because we've seen how the research that you guys do in the lab changes your lives. We see how it transforms your lives. We see how it opens opportunities that you might not have even dreamed before of. And just the same way that happened to me. I'm living a dream, I'm living opportunities that I never dreamed. If I go back to when I was your age, and people will say, what do you want to do when you're 50? There's no way I will have ever pictured that I will be standing right here. So it's the same way that is for you guys. So I'll keep fighting as much as I can for you guys. So there will be always an opportunity and a space for you guys to keep on moving forward and change. Go to places that you might not even think of right now. So we are very grateful to our great leaders, Regent Perez, President Bailey, Provost Sayas, Dean Kubash. Thank you. You have been great visionaries that are propelling, our future and the lives of so many. So thank you so much for everything. And right now it's the best part of the show because that's when you will get to meet the new students. So I guess before we do that, please help me welcome Dr. Germano, Yana Kone. So from National Science Foundation, he'll say a few words for you guys.
Thank you, Karen, so very much. I'm only going to say a few words because I simply cannot compete with what you've heard today. All I can tell you is that the National Science Foundation believed in you, and we take pride in the kind of work and dedication and the time it took to reach to this stage. I'm glad you left this slide up, and I'm glad that you mentioned the commitment to these undergraduates, because we're not transplanting redwoods and calling it a forest, we're building an ecosystem. And although your 9 PhD students, but the whole 18 that launches this program, they are the tip of the spear. Everything else, all of the students behind you are working with you, are supporting you, and you are supporting them. When you're going to act as an engine for this community, an engine for development, it's not just for the problems you have now, for the possibilities you have now. The beauty of the university is that you're going to imagine problems that we can't even define now. We're going to solve things in 2 years that we can't even define today. In 4 years, we can't even imagine what that world is going to be like, right? Those are things that the university allows that research, the work it takes to attack that research, and then define the next problem. So we were very proud in the Division of Materials Research to fund this kind of opportunity. The whole vision was that we have some fantastic universities in this country. And NSF's mission is basically just 3 parts. Be the smartest in the world, ensure our economic prosperity, and support the national defense. That's it. That's our 1950s mandate. And we are doing that here in this community, solving these local problems. You're developing new solutions to answers of questions that you're posing here. Things that are important to you. Nobody else is going to be able to do that. And you're going to be able to do it and share that information, share those solutions, make the startup companies. So there's number 2 solved. New ideas, new prosperity. What do we mean by supporting the national defense? This activity is going to not only make us stronger as a community, I have heard so many times today, family. I should share with you, I am a first-generation American. Both my parents came to the United States from Italy right after World War II, and we were very thankful for the country that welcomed us. I know very well the kind of families that are here, that kind of closeness, and the desire to give back. And I think that that's what this does on a national scale. Your example of being a family locally, your desire to grow locally, are solutions that you can share across the country. There are places in this country that are facing similar problems. They need your solutions. There are places in this country that would love to buy the products of your startup companies. They need you. Okay? And you are now at that pinnacle point of all of that investment, and now you have a PhD program in material science and engineering. Now you can be the partner, just as you amend with your partner before, you can pass it on to the next institution that needs their local problem solved. And the last thing I'm going to say about the beauty of materials research, I'm a physicist, but I did my postdoc in the chemistry department. I spent some time in the material science and engineering department. I worked with engineers. My home institution was Worcester Polytechnic in Massachusetts. It's an engineering school. It goes. Engineers and material scientists and materials researchers go hand in glove. You're not going to be able to make the products of the future, the infrastructure that we need without new materials, new solutions. The key thing is everyone here is doing research across the spectrum. Research for new knowledge, just as important as some of the most deep questions about the origins of the universe. We figure out how the universe gets together and does what it does to make something that looks like a plant. Right? It's not really made like plant material. Right? Well, petroleum is former plant material. Okay? The key thing here is that we're doing these things to make the world better. We're doing these things to raise everybody up, to have everybody participate in this. And so materials research is naturally interdisciplinary. We naturally interact with engineers. So we take the science all the way to engineering, all the way to deployment, all the way out to the real world. So what I'm going to inspire you is to pass this on, not only as you're developing your PhD program, but there's a university out there that needs you. And together we're going to make the dangerous safe, we're going to make the dirty clean, we're going to make the expensive cheap, and we'll make the world better. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So now I would like to introduce Dr. Lisa, also from the division of CMMI, also at NSF.
Thank you, Dr. Lozano. So I know it's a school night, right? So I will be very short. I just want to echo what Giovanna just said about the significance of this particular, I would say, mind-blowing event. How about that? I'm blessed to have been here before and worked with people here before in association with the institution that I'm on leave from. That's why I'm covering my NSF pin for a second. I am on leave from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. I'm what's called an IPA. It's not up here. I rotate through NSF for 2 to 4 years. And at UNL, I was privileged to work with a number of people in this room to do something akin to what Dr. Lozano has done with the University of Minnesota at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln in mechanical engineering and civil engineering. I'm a structural engineer, so I use everything you all do, right? I don't know if I use it effectively, but I try. So I've seen and experienced the back of the room. I just spoke with a former graduate of UTRGV, Lou Sotelo, who is faculty at Purdue University, who was a part of the program that we developed. And she's killing it at Purdue. That's what's going to happen. And I guarantee you, she speaks so fondly of this place, as everybody does. She will, as I called it with the programs that we established at the University of Nebraska, not NSF, she will boomerang back. Boomerangs always come back. They know they have to. They have little brains in them or something. I don't know what it is. But they come back. And that's amazing. This is an incredible place. I represent, again, the Director for Engineering. I direct what's called Civil, Mechanical, and Manufacturing Innovation. Civil, Mechanical, Manufacturing. Materials, materials, materials.
Yes.
So not only am I here to help support the brilliance in the back, and it was really amazing. When the standing O started for you, it started in the back and worked its way forward. I thought it was incredible. Shows what you've done and the impact you've had. So we are here to work with our colleagues and other directorates within NSF, with the faculty that are here, and certainly with the students. PhD students, congratulations. I'm going to ask you to say something to yourself in a minute. And those who are undergraduate students who are also all going to go into PhD programs. So we're here to help. I'll talk more about what CMMI is and does, what the Directorate for Engineering is and does. And by the way, our head, Assistant Director, Dr. Susan Margulies, sends her regrets. So you got me. But I want to be here because this is an amazing place. So there were discussions of ideas all throughout the evening, right? And in the video, one of the current PhD students in the program, I'm not sure where she's sitting, but she said, "Thank you, Dr. Lozano, for putting up with my crazy ideas." Who was that? Who said that? Back there. What's your name? Alexa. So there are no crazy ideas, okay? The only crazy ideas are the ones that you keep inside your head. So continue to come with crazy ideas. We want crazy ideas. Germano said that, okay? And since I'm in between me and you PhD students being introduced again, you should be, I want you to say doctor and your last name to yourself. Just say doctor and your last name. That give you goosebumps? It should. Now say doctor and your last name with a question mark. I like how you said, looked up in the air like, okay. What did that make you feel like? If I didn't give you goosebumps, drop the question mark, okay? You're gonna do it. There are many people before you, some who work at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, who have done it, who work everywhere, they're having impact, you will have impact, and it'll be amazing to see how many of you come back. So thank you, congratulations.
Thank you. So I call to the stage Dr. Bailey, Dr. Sayas, our Dean Kubash, if you can come. So, and I guess in the meantime, I want to thank everybody behind the scenes. For us to be here, there are a lot of staff behind the scenes. Thank us. But we have Lisa Moreno, Annie, Elma, Manuela, Daniela. There's so many of you. Karina, and there's many of you, all the staff members that were here Friday setting everything, have been going crazy, with the names and arrangements and everything that's going on. We could not have done it without you. Thank you to all the staff members. So we're going to start calling the students. The students, if you can line up through that, I guess here, come this way, okay, when I call you, so I can give you a bag. The bag has your safety gear for your PhD, okay? So it has, of course, safety gear. It has your goggles. It has your lab coat. It has your name. Is it me, the one that is it's messing up the microphones. So, okay, it has, but it also has a cup for coffee, and it has lots of love in there. You're gonna need it. We've been telling you a PhD is hard. You're gonna go through a dark tunnel, you're gonna be wondering, why did I sign up, but believe me, it's gonna be worth it. Once you get the DR, in front of your name, and all the opportunities that you're gonna, be able to, get, it's gonna be totally worth it. Okay, so we're gonna start calling you guys, we're gonna start in alphabetical order. So Abdallah El-Maghrabi. It also has notebooks. Remember, you have to write all your crazy ideas in there. Okay? Okay, next one is Alexa Villarreal. Alexa has been with us for so long as an undergrad student and future doctor. Alan Cedillo. Arafat Hossein. Carlos Rodriguez. Edna Orozco. Ilse Pérez. Jorge Barrón. Okay, Jose Sanchez, alias Percy. He's one of our superstars of the Energy and You show if you have not watched it. Yuri Perales. Julia Salas. Lawrence Cannon. Marcos Villarreal. Rodrigo Barrera. Samantha Ramirez. Valeria Vega. Thank you so much. So now Dr. Sayas give some closing words, and then we will finish. Prem students, stay because we want to take pictures with you. PhD students, you can come and take pictures with your family. Thank you, Mom and Dad, Misael, that I found at Home Depot, that we said, Misael should join the PhD program. His dad is here. He went home and said, Misael, I found Dr. Lozano. He said, you should join the PhD program. So, but thank you, parents. You guys are amazing. My mom is here, and she will tell you it's worth it. So now time for some closing words.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lozano. And I stand between you and the rest of your evening, so I want to make it short. But this is a historic evening. It's a historic evening for all of us. It's a historic evening for the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. And as you know, history is a story. It's a story about the past, but it's also a story about the future. And tonight, we heard the stories. We heard the history as told by our speakers. And I want to just point out a few things. You are, after all, the first PhD cohort. That is historic. As Dean Kubraj said, and I quote him, we are the future of the nation. You are the future of the nation, and we're proud of that. President Bailey went on to say that the PhD in Material Science program is crucial for where we are going. That's vital. We heard from Regent Perez that keeping our grads in the Valley is of utmost importance, and I couldn't agree more. I was at institutions outside of Texas or even in Texas, and we were always trying to get the students from the Rio Grande Valley to come north. But I can see why you stay now that I'm a part of this wonderful community. We heard, of course, from others, Mr. Rubiano and Mr. Partridge, about what engineers do to keep us safe and healthy and protected and productive, and how we're trying to attract the greatest companies here so that you can actually run them and make them work. We've also heard of the history of this university and the program. And we do know that it's our history that provides us with our identity and our sense of pride, where we come from and where we are. That's so important, and I want to make sure we highlight that. We have lots of ideas, and we're grateful to the support of the National Science Foundation for helping us continue on this trajectory upward. And I want to end with that, because remember, history is the past, but history also tells us about the future. And the future of this university, the trajectory, is bright. And we've got all the bright minds in this room that will continue to make us great. So thank you all very much. Have a good evening, and best wishes to all of you. Please go. Oh, that's it. I'm in. Goodbye.